I am making a video here, folks, just to break down what just happened at Farm Aid 2023. Uh, a monstrous event with one of the biggest icons of the music industry. For those of you that don't know, Farm Aid is a charity event that was started by Willie Nelson, Neil Young, and John Mellencamp to raise money for American farmers to promote agriculture and to promote the farmer to be the main source of food in the United States, not from huge conglomerates. So Farm Aid is always a big deal. You've got standard performers there, like again Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young. In the last probably 10 years, Dave Matthews has jumped on board. Nathaniel Rateliff is another big name. Margo Price, Jamie Johnson, people like that are starting to jump on board with the board of directors for Farm Aid. And little did I know, because I don't really follow Farm Aid, there was going to be a special guest tonight. The guest was none other than Bob Dylan. And Dylan comes out, not by himself, but with a band of guys that are very familiar. You have Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the Dirty Knobs, which are now Mike Campbell's main project. But included in the Dirty Knobs is drummer Steve Ferrone, who is a longtime drummer for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. He started with them during the Wildflower sessions and then became a permanent member once Stan Lynch, the original drummer, was fired from the band. So you have Mike Campbell, Bob Dylan, Steve Ferrone, and Benmont Tench, the original keyboardist for the Heartbreakers, who was with them on stage. And so I'm at home with my family before I came back to my apartment, winding down our night together. I've been visiting my family, and all of a sudden I see there's like a big notification saying there's a reason. They said Mike Campbell. This is the reason that Mike Campbell canceled his New Hampshire show. He was supposed to play in New Hampshire tonight. He didn't, and this was why. They never said why they canceled it, but this was the reason. And then to pull in Benmont Tench, who doesn't play with Mike in the Dirty Knobs, to come out and play keys is just unbelievable. Now, of course, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers toured with Bob in the late 80s. And of course, Tom Petty and Bob Dylan were both in the Traveling Wilburys together. So to see two original Heartbreakers plus Steve Ferrone with Bob Dylan is a huge moment in its own right. But to even make it cooler, Dylan is playing guitar on all three songs that he comes out and plays in this little mini set. He plays about 15 minutes or so. Again, for those that know Dylan and the Dylan camp, Dylan has not been actively playing guitar the last decade or so. I think he's got some issues with his hands. He mostly plays piano. I think there's a little bit of pain there and that sort of thing. But he comes out with an electric guitar, black suit, white boots, looking cool, no hat. His hair is dyed and curly and very Bob Dylan. Again, Dylan's 82. They come out and they start playing Maggie's Farm for the first time since 2009, and they kill it. Dylan sounds fantastic. The Dirty Knobs are just going with it. My dad was sitting next to me. He's like, how long do you think they practiced? And I said, right there. You could tell they were playing it off the cuff, but they were playing it well. It was raw. There were mistakes, but it was awesome. Benmont was killing it on the organ and the keys. He looked cool in a white fedora. Mike had his wide bill hat and his dreads. The other guys were playing tight. Steve is laying it down on the drums. Of course, Steve Ferrone was a session guy. He also played in the Average White Band. And Benmont has played hundreds of sessions. So they're killing it. And you can see Bob standing up playing his electric guitar. He's giving cues with his hand to Mike Campbell and Benmont. And this is on YouTube. Look up Farm Aid 2023. You can see the whole show. It's toward the end. It's just before Willie Nelson comes out to do the final set. Bob is pointing to the guy saying, cue here, end here, that sort of thing. And Mike is playing, And all of a sudden, Mike looks over at Benmont and he's like smiling. He's like, "Can you believe we're doing this? This is awesome." They kill Maggie's Farm. Song number 2, Positively 4th Street. The first time since 2013. So I believe 2013 or 14. So it's been 9 or 10 years since he's done Positively 4th Street. Benmont is playing the keys just like Al Kooper does. He's playing like do 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 do. And then Dylan, "You got a lot of nerve to say you were my friend." It is so cool. And by this point, Dylan had sat down in a chair. But he starts playing licks. He's playing licks on the guitar. So he's not just holding the guitar for a prop, like, when Brian Wilson holds a bass or sits in front of a piano. Dylan is playing the guitar. And Mike Campbell is kind of playing backup to Dylan playing lead. And then he'll like cut to Mike, and Mike will play a lick. And then Bob will play a lick. Benmont is killing it on the keys, taking it like church style organ. Positively 4th Street's awesome. It ends just like a regular Dylan show. The lights go dark for the stage. They're kind of fiddling about what to do. You hear Mike Campbell kind of yelling off mic, like, "What key, what string do I start on here?" Like they're figuring out as they're going. And that is just the coolest thing, because it's just like it would have been with Tom Petty in the 80s, just kind of off the cuff. Then they break into Ballad of a Thin Man, which Dylan, up until his Rough and Rowdy Ways tour, that was a pretty standard song in Dylan's set list. Usually it was a closer for the set. Just like this one, it was a 3-song set. Benmont's playing the keys just like the record, which again is not like Bob, because Bob usually goes off the record and plays it in his own way. But Ben is playing boom, 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 dum, dum, and then he plays the organ like, it was just the most unbelievable thing. And then at the end of that, I mean, again, Dylan's giving cues to Mike and Benmont, like, play this, play this, play this. He's playing his stuff. And then towards the end of the song, because they're just going boom, 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 dum, dum, boom, boom, boom. You can see Mike kind of looks at the other 2 guys from the Dirty Knobs and is kind of like, doing like this number, like, we're about to finish. And Dylan's kind of like, "Nah, we're not going to finish yet." So then Dylan starts playing this lead lick, and Mike is like, "Okay." Because I think they probably had like a set time, like between the sets, to like play before Willie came out with his guys. And when Dylan starts playing a lick, Mike looks over at Benmont and he's just smiling. He's like, "Can you believe this is happening? This is happening." And again, Benmont is just laying it down. The camera cuts to Benmont. He's like, he's smiling like he can't believe it, because Benmont, him and Mike don't play together that much anymore, obviously, since the Heartbreakers had to disband. But oh my goodness, if you want a treat, go watch that last little bit of Farm Aid before Willie comes out. I don't have the time slot memorized, but if you're scrolling on the Farm Aid live stream, which will be posted as a video, go toward the end and you'll see like the little title cards that says special guest, and that's about when Dylan comes out. So check that out. It was just unbelievable. I wanted to share it because I think it's just the coolest Dylan news that has happened. I don't know, maybe in my lifetime. I don't know. Dylan has played with a bunch of people, but this was something special for me. It was the biggest Dylan news for me, because to see Dylan with Heartbreakers, it was awesome. It was awesome. Dylan sounded great. He's 82 years old. Benmont was just such a treat to watch. Steve Ferrone laying it down solid on the drums. It was just incredible. Go watch it. I just wanted to get that out there. There's really no rhyme or reason to the video other than I am just stoked that it happened. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe, all that stuff. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.